Hey, welcome to another episode of Your Health and Faith Community. I'm your host, Pastor Jackie Jackson, and as always, on behalf of myself and our producer, Anita Alexander, we want to thank you very much for taking out time from your day to spend with us. Hopefully and prayerfully, we'll give you some information that will improve your quality of life. Great. Now, this is an honor and a privilege that we have a Cincinnati police officer, Officer Princess Davis, with us today. Let me tell you, before I even tell you more about her, I had the opportunity with my job, Cincinnati, the City of Cincinnati, Department of Human Relations, Community Outreach Advocate. We take children down to the police academy often, done through one of the advocates, Deron Hunter. And for the first time, I had the opportunity to watch Officer Davis interact with the children. And I was just as caught up as they were. She gave good information, real information, some tough love in there, but her engagement was phenomenal. So let me just tell you a little bit about Officer Davis if you don't know her. So Police Officer Princess Davis has been a member of the Cincinnati Police Department since February 1993. That's the year I was born. She has dedicated her career to the communities she served as a neighborhood liaisons officer and as a recognized advocate for area senior citizens and Cincinnati's youth. Her current assignment, and I think this is still current right here, your current assignment as the department's Citizens on Patrol and AAA School Safety Patrol Coordinator has proven her most exciting and challenging endeavor, allowing her to focus on community partnerships throughout the 52 Cincinnati police neighborhoods. During her 25 years of service, Officer Davis has been recognized by colleagues and citizens alike for her optimistic, willing attitude, generosity of spirit, and determination to make a positive impact every day. She maintains the respect of those she encounters because she firmly believes that policing is more than enforcing law. It's also about quality of life, building community awareness, participation, ownership, and greater focus towards achieving that. As both a mother and grandmother, Princess Davis maintains a passion for Cincinnati's young adults. She has worked with communities to identify and develop solutions that effectively lead unsupervised teens off the streets. For many of these teens impacted, Officer Davis has exemplified the closest thing to parental authority they have ever encountered up to that point. And they've grown in the knowledge that she cannot and will not give up on anyone. 19th century Russian author Anne-Sophie Swatching, and I probably said that name right, or I probably said that name wrong, eloquently stated that there is a transitioned power through example. We reform others unconsciously when we walk upright. Police Officer Princess Davis is not just recognized today for any one of her shining achievements, but rather for inspiring others in our community to shine each day by the example she provides. Her unparalleled dedication and service can only be defined in one word: awesome. Now nearing retirement, Officer Davis continues to be an inspirational, living testament to the power of one, to fellow officers and citizens alike. With love and faith, she has demonstrated a career well deserving of the recognitions that she has received in the past and the ones that I'm sure she will receive before she retires. We can all thank God for the angels that watch over us. This one is robed in a blue uniform with a white police hat for a halo. Welcome, Officer Davis.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Well, I want to thank you for coming out, and I know you're busy and really appreciate your time. I I don't always read someone's the whole bio, but getting the opportunity to read this, I wanted some more. I wanted to keep going. It's like, isn't there a page two connected to this? Because it's really awesome. And over the years, I've seen you around, but maybe in the last year, I think I've had more interaction and seeing you more than ever. And one thing I can say is, whether on the street, whether at the academy, whether at an event, it's always the same Officer Davis.
Yes.
Which is awesome. You're not, you may switch hats in the duties that you're doing or in the particular thing you're involved in, but it's always the smiling, love,
Yes.
hope, encouraging Officer Davis. So tell us, okay, I've read about it, but tell us about your career in your words.
Well, the way I started, I never dreamed of being a police officer. That was never my dream. My girls, when they were young, they were in the DARE program in school. And they came home and told me that there was a DARE officer in the school and they were looking for good men and women to be a part of the police department. And they kept saying, Mom, come on, please, you got to. Because I would take in the kids in the community and love on them and tough love them the whole nine, but I always fed everybody. And so after about a couple of months, I mean, they kept at me almost every day. About a couple of months, I put in for the job. It took me about a year to go through the process. And then when they finally called me and said I made it, I told them, no, I'm really not interested. So I'll never forget Denise New. She was recruiting then, and she said, just do me a favor. With the process we've sent you through, it's cost us about $30,000. She said, if you could take off a month off your job and just give us a try. And I did. And this is the best job I have ever had in my life. Even now I'm near retirement. I ask God to give me strength to get up every day. It's always been my prayer to be a blessing, but that He uses me to move me out the way that He might be glorified, and that it may be a blessing. I can be a blessing to whoever life I touch, even if I have to do a tough love, even if I have to lock them up. I never forget Kabaka Abba. I never forget him. He used to go down to City Hall whenever they had city council, and every now and then they would have to escort somebody out, or somebody had to go to jail. And the one time I'm there, and he said he followed the guy back to see who the officer is going to take one of the guys to jail, and he saw me. He said, "Oh man, you in good hands right there. She gonna take care of you. She gonna, you know." I've always had that where I want to love, but sometimes you have to be tough. You have to lock up criminals, be it, but I don't want to be harsh. I don't want to be disrespectful, but still do my job. So that's how I come to work every day. I come to work excited, hoping that I can touch somebody's life today. Because tomorrow's not promised to me. So I want to do whatever I can today.
That's awesome. I guess I would say, and I'm not saying this is what I want to happen, but I guess if I had to get arrested, I guess I want to look up and see your face. I don't want to get arrested. Right. Period. I said if I did, right?
Right.
God, there's a lot of directions I want to go here. I want to talk a little bit about your professional profile for 2018, which I have on here, and just some of the things that you're involved in. And on this, I want to talk about the Certified Mental Health Response Team, because I think, in looking even across the country, that's been sometimes one of the issues when officers have to respond. If they're responding to someone who has mental health issues, yes, and not being prepared to deal with that, or not being trained or not understanding the signs, something can look like something that it's not and take it a different way. And I remember we were at a training at the academy, and they were talking about the officers, and that may have been when you all were maybe starting that, or for some reason they brought it up in our training, and how that's making a difference. Would you talk a little bit about what is it? Yes. The Certified Mental Health Response Team.
Yes. We're trained. It's a 3 month. Well, back then when I was trained, we went through. It was a 7 or 8 week, but it was a continual training where we were trained how to deal with, first recognize, to try to be able to recognize someone that had mental health issues. And then kind of take a step back, because before we would run to the problem without doing an assessment. But this training taught us how to make an assessment, and not only that, to partner with the various hospitals to have staff on hand, that when we go to a run or a radio run that a person is having some issues, that we can call someone to meet us to kind of help deal with that. Because a lot of times when we make those runs, we have a person on staff at either one of the districts that knows that person already. That's how advanced this program has gone, where when we make those runs, we can kind of do an assessment and then determine from there which route we're going to take. I had a case one year, though, a young lady, they were at the library. Both of them got on the elevator, and next thing you know, the young lady said when the door shut, the one lady just knocked her out. I mean, just beat her down. So when we got there, the young lady, she's all bruised up, her hair all over the place, and her face is kind of swollen on the side. And then we had the person that committed the crime. Well, the officers were like, well, we don't know what to do. I said, well, I know she's going to jail today. I said, now, they can handle and do whatever in the court system, but a crime has just been committed. And we're not going to just let her go, because it'll happen again. And as a result of that, she was able to get a little bit more upper medication or something that they did, because from that time on, I've really never seen her out or anything happening where she was committing those kind of crimes. And it was due to her mental health issue. So
having this training is definitely...
It is a must for every officer in the United States that ever want to become a police officer. These trainings are necessary. And if I could put a plug in for the Cincinnati Police Department, we are one of the best in the nation when it comes to training. They train us, they drill us on a continuous basis, continually. So Cincinnati Police Department, if you're ever looking to really be a blessing, and if you want to be a police officer, Cincinnati is number one.
All right. How long has the response team? How long have you been that training? When was that implemented?
I think I had the training in 1997. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yes.
Now, had it been as effective or effectively used early on as it is now?
I don't know about now. I'm not on the street, actually on the street. Okay. But when I was, it was very effective, because where before we were locking people up when they're disorderly, we realized, no, they have a problem. We need to get them to UC Hospital to get treatment. And that was a result of that.
And I think that's important for people to know and to understand. Even when you're reaching out to 911, it seems like that could be a help. If I'm making a 911 call and say it's my cousin, and I know that my cousin has mental health issues, if I inform 911 and they can let the officer know, then it's probably going to be a different situation. Now, are there only certain officers that would respond?
No, we have just about everybody trained now. At one time, it was just certain officers. Everybody that's coming through the academy now is getting that training. Yes.
So anyone who shows up at your door,
yes,
at that point is going to be trained and know how to handle a situation.
Yes, they have to be. Yes.
Which makes a big difference.
Yes.
And especially in the country, throughout the country. And thank goodness I'm not glad that it's anywhere else, but just thank goodness not in our city are we seeing the level and the issues that are taking place with the police departments across the country. And I think it's great that Cincinnati is saying we need to have our officers trained in every
Yes.
way possible
Yes.
to handle the situation. So yeah, I'm with you in applauding that. Another thing on here, I want to go to the community involvement. I'm
Okay.
just going to bounce through all of these
Okay.
as much as I can. The Cincinnati Police Crime Stoppers, because we know, unfortunately, there's so much crime, and when you deal with the drug situation now, and all these other elements that just seems crime is running really rampant. I know people see Crime Stoppers if you watch the news, if you watch television, but tell people what Crime Stoppers is, maybe a little bit more than what they just hear, call and get some money.
Crime Stoppers is basically when there's a criminal element or offense that has taken place where we're looking for a really violent offender or someone like robbing a bank, shootings. We're looking for those people. Now, it used to be when we were coming up, everybody knew who this person or that person was. It's not like that now, and if it is, they're afraid to say something. So Crime Stoppers was created as a result of that, where if we give out some money, we might get people to call. And that's what has happened. I think Crime Stoppers is very successful because of people in the community willing to speak up, willing to say something. You see something, say something. And that's what's happening. But with Crime Stoppers, it takes it a little step further where they get like a little stipend for saying something, and we never know who they are. They're given a code. They can go to the district or wherever they want to meet to collect their money. Nothing is ever said. So they're getting paid, and we have some that are very, how should I say this word? Put it like this. They know the call because they know how the transition happens and how to collect that money. So that's like extra income, like, oh, we're going to find who that is because we can use that change.
So that's their side gig, huh?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Are you seeing that, or is the police department seeing that Crime Stoppers is kind of helping that bridge from the snitches get stitches mentality where people are feeling more free to come out and speak? And then the second part of that, do they ever have to show up in court? Because I know it's anonymous, but is there a point where that breaks and it's like, well, we need you to
Right,
come
from my
in?
understanding, no. They pretty much, when we put out Crime Stoppers, we pretty much know who we're looking for. So it's nothing like you have to testify. We pretty much, we know, we done seen your picture. We already saw the
You
action.
just need
We
to know
just got to
where you
locate
at.
you.
Where are you?
Yeah, we got to locate you. Put it like this, Crime Stoppers is so great, we don't have enough staff to take all the calls. That's how great Crime Stoppers is. So give a shout out to Gene Ferreira and the staff. I'm excited about Crime Stoppers. Sometimes I'm on the news. Lisa Baker, she does it, but whenever she can't, I'll go in there for her. And it's beautiful that people come forward. And that's the thing for 2018. You see something, say something.
See something, say something.
You have to. I even teach that in the schools with the young people, my school safety patrol. I do the same thing with the kids. I'm building leaders. I'm looking for leaders. I'm tired of the followers. We need leaders in these young people. And it starts now, not when you get an adult. It starts as a child. So that's the one thing I say. There's a way of, when you see something and say something, you don't just call it out. There's a way to go about.
Right.
A leader doesn't just broadcast. A leader knows how to take the steps or the necessary means to get the information out that needs to be out instead of broadcasting. They know the necessary steps. So that's what I teach in my school safety patrol program.
Right. And with the outreach team, when we do marches or involved, that's our saying. If you see something, say something. I like to add, if you know something, say something. If you heard something, say something.
Amen.
The bottom line is say something. But I think it was important because in anything, you have people who are telling you what it's like, who know, and then you have people who tell you what they perceive or what they heard. And I thought it was good for people to actually understand that with Crime Stoppers, it is anonymous.
Yes,
You can make the call. You can, because in essence, if it's a killer, and you get a killer off the street,
Come on.
you may be saving your own self or your family.
That's right.
And you don't want to wait until something hits your door.
That's right.
And unfortunately, sometimes in the community, that's the case.
That's right.
If it's not me, I didn't see anything. I don't know nothing. I ain't see nothing. I hear nothing. But then if it comes to my door, then I want everybody
Amen.
to say who did it and everybody
right.
to tell.
That's
So
right.
this is a way for people to safely and anonymously get information that's going to make their community safe.
Yes.
And that part is really good.
Yes.
All right, now I'm going to go to the Women Helping Women, the Purple Walk. And I know I'm running you like
Oh
the
no, you're
category.
good. The Purple Light Walk.
Purple Light Walk.
Yes, I'm emceeing it October the 5th, which is I think next Friday, at 6 o'clock on Fountain Square. You can go to Purple Light Walk on Eventbrite and you can register, or you can show up. Just if you register, you promised a T-shirt. You'll pretty much get your size, the whole nine. I MC it, so when you come down, I mean, you can be cute and that's fine, but make sure you have on your dancing shoes because you're getting out there. We're going to get down. We always
right.
do. I have ballroom dancers and line dancers, and if you want to freestyle, that's fine, but we work the stage and we work the audience. We have a ball. This year it's grown even more. I'm going to have 3 groups performing. But Purple Light Walk is one of the biggest fundraisers for Women Helping Women.
And what is women and what does that entail? Women
Helping Women, they help victims of crime, not just women. It's also men that are victimized. And I thank God men are finally coming out. They're abused just like women are. I mean, we've had men that get stabbed and they will not tell. They'll just go to the hospital and say, I've been stabbed. They won't tell who did it. And we know it's your girl or your spouse.
But I mean, for a long time, though, if you were a male and you said anything happened to you and the perpetrator was a woman, you know, there's the stigma
Yeah,
that,
it's a
you know,
stigma.
wait a minute, you got beat up by a woman.
Well, right,
Or
that's right.
even, there was a point where even going to court, you were almost, well, I guess what it was is we as men would end up getting a taste of what women what women had to deal with the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as a male, you go in, it's like, well, she beat me up or she did this. And it's almost like you're getting looked at like,
What? Exactly. Yeah, sure
and
enough.
so that kept
Sure
that,
enough.
you know, I'm a man, that kept
Yep.
that out of there. But go
But
ahead.
that's
I'm sorry,
why
I
I'm
didn't mean to
so glad now that the men are coming forth. I had a young lady cuss me out years ago because they realized, they thought, well, if I say it's a gun involved, the police will get here quicker. Well, this particular case, we got to run. That's when Ezra Charles, Law Homes and Lincoln Courts was still up. We got a call, and she said he had a gun. He pulled a gun out on me. Well, when the run came out, I was right here by his car. I pulled the car over, got him out, handcuffed, checked the car. No gun. I said, where's your... He's like, I don't have a gun. I said, she said you had a gun. I ain't had no gun, you know. She wanted my money, and I told her I ain't giving it to her, so she called the police on me. And I said, what? So, you know, I'm like heated because it's already hard for our young men anyway to get jobs, and then you're trying to label them and put fake charges on them. I went back and I said, no, she going to jail for making a false report. She's like, well, what, B, you can't, da-da-da-da. No, you going to jail today, boo. So, and I kind of stopped that because you're not going to keep calling us. I mean, you taking his money, and he's out here working hard and trying to do his best with you and your family, and you want to take advantage of him. But the fake charges, all that stuff, stop. They calling, telling me he's got a gun to get us there quicker.
Right.
And it'll probably still go on, but at one time we had it was really
Which is
crazy.
dangerous as
Yes.
well, because
Yeah.
you know, you're coming, you want to make sure you go home at night too.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's putting, whenever someone does that, that's putting a lot of people in danger just because you're upset about something.
Yes.
That you're probably not going to be upset about tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
You know, so you cause some damage. I want to move forward. Well, what we talk about everything about the Purple Light Walk, because I definitely don't want to slight that.
Fountain Square, next Friday, October the 5th at 6 o'clock. Meet me there and be ready to partay.
Now, when to register, can they register on the Cincinnati Police
No, they can
Department site,
register.
or
They will have to go to Purple Light Walk event on Eventbrite. Just put in 2018 Purple Light Walk, and it'll take
Okay.
them right to it. But they can also come in person and register.
but you don't get the T-shirt?
Well, if you get there about 5:30, you may get the T-shirt.
You might, but if you register,
Yes.
you will get a T-shirt.
Yes.
So if I want a T-shirt,
Yes.
I need to go ahead on and register right now.
Yes, register right now.
Well, after the show, register so that you can go and get your T-shirt. But go if you don't have a T-shirt. Wear one of your own,
Awesome.
because it's definitely needed.
Yes.
And I mean, right now we're in the middle of the television is occupied today for a woman being abused, and we really need to. I mean, I guess saying the